All right, today's the day. We are finally going to pick up the other projects, and there's another project along with this one that we're tying into it that I think you're gonna like. So me and the Iceman are here, getting rigged up, and we're heading over to go pick up those vehicles. So let's go. What's going on, everybody? We are en route to go pick up our 3 project vehicles with the Iceman following behind me, and it's time to get some things done. This is going to be, I think, an exciting and fun video for you guys, because not only are we picking up 3 project vehicles, but one of these project vehicles is going to be for a young man's first car. I let him pick out of the batch of vehicles out here which one he wanted, and he landed on one, and he picked a very cool one. It's I'm not gonna tell you what it is yet, but it's a 1971 one-owner car with very low miles, and it still has the original title to it from 1971. So that's one of the vehicles we're picking up. So we are on our way road tripping over across the lake to go dig these cars out of the woods, and this time we're taking you with us, so you get to see us actually pulling them from the location where they came from. So we'll tune back in whenever we get to the location, and we'll show you what we got. We have arrived, and the first project on the list, it's a 1971 Ford LTD. Has less than 100,000 miles on it, one-owner car, and it got left because the elderly gentleman that owned it bought it brand new, passed away, and then so it's been sitting since 1996. So we're gonna get this back on the road. This is gonna be for that young man's first car. We're gonna get that going. So close by over here, I'll show you the other one. There are cars everywhere. But number 2 in the list is the one I'm excited about. I've always wanted, for what I do, a tow truck, but I wanted something classy and cool. So 1972 GMC 1-ton, 3500 custom. The boom is off of it right now, but he said he does have it. Needs the motor, which we have. Gonna get this thing back on the road, and that's gonna be our new shop tow truck. I'm gonna leave that patina, and we're gonna make it cool. And number 3, a 1970 Beetle. And the reason I went after this is because if you saw that other video, I had that red one that's way too rough to Baja out. I was gonna have to do a lot of work. This one's a lot cleaner, a lot uglier on the outside, so I don't know. Maybe we'll keep the patina and do a Mad Max style Baja, but yeah, someone's already knocked the fenders off of it. But it's a complete car, and this was an abandonment and been sitting since looks like 2010, so hadn't been sitting too long. But we're gonna get that one out of here today also. So all right, we're gonna start with that LTD, and then we'll move on to this one, and they're going to throw the tow truck on a tow truck to get it back to the shop. All right, we're gonna get started going to dig that LTD out of the woods now. This is a big car. All right, we got one loaded, finally. So now we're going to go get the Beetle hooked up, which should be easier since it's a standard Beetle. And I've got other Beetles. I've got the tow bar that just goes on the front twin beam axle there, that you can just hook up to it and drive off with it. It does have two flat tires in the back, so we brought two spares with us. We're going to change out the rear tires on that, and hopefully it rolls, and doesn't look like the steering is locked on it, so we should be good. So, all right, so what we're doing next. Oh yeah, your hair looks good. You look good. Take care of the talent. We have the Bug hooked up with the tow bar and everything. The problem is we've got one wheel that's seized up. So for the past 10 minutes, we've been dragging this thing all over the property, beating it with hammers, trying to get that one wheel to... Oh, is it came loose? All right. Oh, I thought we were gonna have some funny footage of dragging the Iceman all over the property again. All right, it's rolling. All right, 2 of 3 ready to go.
Sounds like here comes the tow truck.
Tow truck's coming? Oh, we might have all 3 then. All right, I guess we are heading back to the shop now. Okay, we are finally back at the garage, and we got all the vehicles here. Got the LTD in here, got the tow truck outside, and the little Beetle, I threw it out in the back because it's ugly, and I try not to keep things out front that are too ugly that might upset neighbors. But anyways, the tow truck, we will get to that in another episode. That's gonna be a bigger project. The project for this video is gonna be this 71 LTD. Now, good friend of mine, her son is getting his driver's license, and for his first car, he wanted something he'd feel safe in, something old school, and we ran across this. So we found this for him. He picked it out. I gave him a lineup of vehicles, but he picked this one out of the lot. And I think he did a great job because, come to find out, it was bought brand new in 1971, one owner car, still has the original title. It came with keys, and it has, I believe, 95,000 original miles on it. Now, the cool factor, what we just found out about this car, we started doing research on who the owner of this car was, because we did find out he had passed. So we did a little digging, and we found the information in obituaries, in some obituaries and whatnot. This car belonged to a man named Leonard. Leonard was born in the early 1900s, and he passed away about the time this car started sitting, so around 95, 96, I don't remember. But the cool thing about this man that owned this car is he actually toured with Hank Williams Sr. So this car has a weird tie back to Hank Williams Sr. Now, we know Hank Williams Sr. died a long time ago, way before this car, but it's really cool the fact that this car belonged to a man that was friends and toured with Hank Williams Sr. So that was just a kind of a cherry on top of all the other cool stuff that we found out about this car. So I've done a quick once over. I haven't gone through everything, done a deep dive into under the hood or anything like that. All I know is when he passed away, it was running and driving, and since then it was left, forgotten, and then towed off. And so here it is. Since 1996 was the last time this thing ran. So There's nothing really in the trunk to show you back there. We had to open it earlier to see if there was a spare tire because we had a bad tire on this car. So let's start with the interior. I want you guys to check this out. This is a 1971, so this thing is 52 years old. Doors open flawlessly. Everything is pretty much perfect. It does have the little separation in the steering wheel that does happen, but gauges, radio, I mean, it came with factory AC, no cracks in the dash, the wood paneling is perfect, the seats feel and look new. Headliner looks like it was just put in here. He put a towel over the back dash, so I'm sure underneath that it's probably perfect. Back seat, perfect. I mean, this is a time capsule. And this car was garage kept up until the point he passed away, and then when the car was eventually towed off, unfortunately, since then it was stored outside. So that's why the interior is pretty much mint, but the outside has some bumps, bruises, scratches, and I'll show you that now. This was a vinyl top car, and it just is rotten. Body-wise, straight, minus a few things that happened, I'm sure, from the tow yard. There's a little dent here, which we could probably knock out. Hood is solid. The grille is all intact. I mean, it's just menacing. We got one dent here. We had to put on a spare to move it. There's one piece of trim knocked off here, which we can probably find it. But this is just a solid car. It does have some of that, you know, bubbling and that cheapy chrome they used on this. But all the lenses in great shape. Bumper solid. It's got some surface rust on it we can knock off. And the only cancer I noticed was right down here in the seams of where the trunk closes. There was a buildup of dirt and leaves that caused a little bit of cancer right on the edges, but not bad, not enough to hurt anything, and can be easily fixed. But I mean, everything just works great on this car on the outside. So let me take you under the hood and we'll see what we got going on in there. I want you guys to check this out. Look how that opens. I mean, it is amazing the condition of this car, even after sitting outside from 96 to now. And everything is here. Let me show you. Now, I haven't checked officially yet, but this should be, I believe, the 351 Cleveland. But nothing has been messed with. I mean, everything is here. You got, you know, standard wear on the heat tubes and whatnot, but factory AC still in it. I mean, the motor is still blue. Yeah, I can't wait to dive into this thing. Of course, first thing we're going to do is we're going to put a wrench on the crank and make sure it does turn over. But yeah, I mean, this is just a very cool garage find time capsule. And yeah, he didn't drive it very much at all. And the paperwork, it showed that when he bought it in 1971 brand new, I believe it was May of 1971 he bought it. 3 years later, in May of 74, the signature is on there of when it was paid off. So he financed this thing for 3 years and paid it off. And then obviously did not drive it very much at all. So we're gonna get started on this. And of course, first thing we wanna do is make sure this motor's not seized up, which I don't think it's gonna be seized up, but never know. So we're gonna try that. And then of course we'll go through, start cleaning out the distributor and all those parts and throwing a battery in here, seeing if it turns over. So we're gonna get started on that now. I haven't checked the oil on this yet, so I'm gonna do that with you guys. Normally I skip around a lot, but let's check it together. The oil is still clear. I can still see through it. It's got a little viscosity left in it, but yeah, it's still clear. So this thing, I guess, yeah, I can still read the dipstick right through that liquid, through that oil. So I'm guessing they changed the oil in this thing right before it got parked. But from the looks of things, he maintained this car very well. He took good care of it. So let's see what the transmission fluid looks like. Could definitely use some new transmission fluid. Yeah, we'll probably end up doing a pan drop filter change and put some fresher fluid in it. It looks a little old, but it'll probably still work. So I guess next we will get a wrench on this motor and we'll see if it turns over. Figure out what size that is. I've been real excited about telling you guys about this car because I've been very antsy to get it moved over here. So it finally worked out. Yeah. It's gonna be the guessing game because I can't see what's down there. Bigger than that. There it is. All right. All right, let's see if this thing moves. If I can do this without cutting my arm. I'm gonna need a short socket, or short extension. All right, here we go. Oh, yeah, it turns. I think the only thing holding it up is probably the belt. I think what we might do is go ahead and throw a battery in here and hit the key and see if it does turn over. I'm sure that gas from 1996 is probably not good. Just a hunch. But we will see what happens. That carb's gonna have to come off here probably anyways. But let me get the, we'll go ahead and get the air cleaner off, see what the carb looks like, and then we'll pop a battery in this and see if it turns over. Let's see. A wing nut on top of a nut. Kick down. Huh. This will be one of the first times I've got a throttle that's not stuck. But let's see. Yeah, that's definitely gonna need a rebuild. Doesn't even look like the accelerator pump's moving. But it is a 351 with a 2-barrel. We might change that. If we find out this is a good runner, we might go ahead and change that out. Maybe put a cam in it, an intake, 4-barrel. Hop this thing up a little bit, because these Clevelands breathe very good. The valves in them were good. So we can do some things to this and bump up the horsies a little bit. But yeah, let me go ahead and get a battery, and we'll see if this thing turns over with a key. All right, happen to have a battery with the post in the right spot. Tighten that up. Do the touch test, see if, oh, what was that? Sounds like the horn is stuck on. Yeah, okay, well, let me disconnect the horn. All right, obviously we need to fix the horn button. Let's see if anything else. Probably, maybe a relay? Or there's a third horn somewhere. There was already 2. It's probably a horn relay, but we'll just have to deal with that for right now. But let's see. All right. Okay, let's see what we got. The buzzer still works. That's awesome. Dome light actually came on. I'm gonna find the lens for it. It's probably in this car somewhere. Let's see. Oh, I think we got a bad connection on the battery. Okay, and clean up these connections real quick, and then I'll get back with you here in just a second. I gotta tighten that down. All right, we got the battery tightened down better. Let's see if it makes a difference. Reminds me of an old Lincoln I used to have. Oh, I have to pop that starter a little bit. I wonder if this old radio works. Wow. Kinda, sorta. Well, that sound fits the car. Alright. Lights? Lights came on. Alright. I'm not gonna try the wipers because there is stuff all up in that dash. Alright. Okay. I guess we'll get down there and check the starter a little bit. Maybe we'll pop it a few times, and I'm gonna have to put a jack under this car because that tire keeps going flat. So I'm gonna get I guess I'll put some air in that tire, and then I'll jack it up a little bit, and then we'll be back. I'm gonna I guess give that starter a few little pops of the hammer, and we'll see if we can free it up. Okay, popped it a few times with a hammer and tightened up the lugs on the starter solenoid up top. We'll see if that does any good. I don't have unfortunately one of my triggers for quick wiring and quick start, so I have to do it this way for right now. No. Oh. There it goes. All right, it's turning a little slow, but she's turning over now. So let me get my my charger on this battery, and ooh, well, that's whatever wire that is melting. So I'm gonna take that off because I'm not quite sure what that wire is. Oh, that's a ground wire. So I'm gonna have to replace this ground wire because it's yeah, it just melted. So let me replace that, and I'll put the charger on the battery, and then we'll go from there, and we can start inspecting the cap and points. Okay, got the battery on the charger. Let's see what we got under this distributor cap. A little rusty. It just blows my mind how clean everything is in this car. I think just a little bit of filing on those points, and they're probably gonna come back around. I don't have an emery board, so I use a little fine file. It usually does the trick. All right, I'll turn the key on, see if we got any spark in there. I was wondering where the rotor went. Oops. Oh, need to file that down too. I've bought no parts for this car yet. We're just trying everything with stuff we have laying around the garage, just to see if she's gonna run. And then if she does, we'll start doing the rest. Let's put that back on. Oh, leave it off. Let's see if we got spark. Oh. A little bit. I might need to replace these. They are barely sparking. Oh, there we go. Let's try that. Before I put any fuel in the carburetor, we'll see if we've got any spark coming out of the plugs or plug wires. There we go. Definitely need some new wires. There's green from the moisture getting up in there. And grab my spark tester. Okay. See if we get any spark out of that. Huh? I can't see it from that angle. I smell fuel, so that fuel pump's probably working. There was actually a receipt in this car from it being serviced years ago. And the pump plus labor was $52, I believe. Don't we wish it was still like that? No spark. All right, we'll leave that there. I think these points are too far gone. The wires are pretty crusty. So I think we're probably gonna go ahead and just go ahead and do wires, plugs, distributor cap, rotor, points. Just do all of that stuff to make sure that it's all good. Because I'm pretty sure this thing's gonna fire. Motor doesn't sound too bad at all. It's hard to tell if there's a little lope in there since the battery's low. If we have any stuck valve springs or anything. But I have faith. I think this is gonna be an easy runner. Knock on wood, but I have hope. Let's find out. I'm gonna get these points off of here real quick, and then we'll see if they're salvageable and if I have any laying around. So let's try that next. All right, clean the points again with some sandpaper. We're gonna see if that makes a difference, because it was definitely sparking when I flicked it open. It was definitely sparking better on the points. Let's see what we got now. Yeah, we got spark now. Okay. All right, let's take this off here, and we'll squirt a little gas down the carburetor and see what it does. It's always the exciting part. We'll put down a little in the bowl, or in the Alright. Let's see what happens. Let's try that again. I hope that's not a main bearing. Hope that's a belt. It's probably pumping some of that old gas down in there too. next step is, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and yank that carb off. We'll go through it, see if we can clean it up and make it work, or if we're gonna have to rebuild it or replace it. Something, but it's I'd call it a runner because it's firing with fuel. And then once we get better fire, I think it's gonna purr. So we'll check back with you here in a few minutes after I make an official game plan and start doing it. It's 2 days later, and I went ahead, rebuilt that carburetor. It was full of like an 1/8 inch of like black tar in the bottom. Did a tune-up, spark plug wires, cap, rotor, condenser, points, did all of that. Started it up and it's got a very bad clackety sound. Fuel pump did start pushing fuel out. Let me show you what came out of that. Yeah, that's the gasoline that was in this car. It looks like oil. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop the valve covers off of this, and we're gonna see what they look like, because there's a lot of clatter going on. I'm gonna make sure oil's getting up to the rocker arms, and see if maybe we have a stuck valve, and we'll go from there. All right, figured we'd start with a oil change first. See if that helps. Change the oil, throw a new filter on it, top it off with some fresh oil. Give us a chance to see what comes out of here too. Oh yeah, I was definitely due for one. Up top it was clean on the stick. Down here it's black. That filter's stuck. Oh yeah, it's gonna be fun. Oh. All right, big channel locks it is. Oh, I just realized I stuck a fuel filter down here too. We'll change that out. Stick a wicks on it, that way we can see through it and see what's going on. That thing is not even trying to move. There it goes. It'd be nice if we just need a oil change to make the ticking go away, which it's possible. I just don't feel very bad, so I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna top it off with some Rotella. Here, you get the filter, put it on there. Go ahead and pop this fuel filter off while I'm down here too. We're gonna try just topping the gas tank off with some fresh gas, because I siphoned what was left in the tank out. There wasn't too much left. Where is it? Oh, come on. There we go. You guys saw that the top of the engine was still blue. The oil pan's even still blue. If it hadn't been kicked out in the woods after the gentleman passed away, it probably still looked brand new, because everything I'm finding wrong with it on the outside is just from sitting or being moved around the yard over there. So, okay, let me grab a screwdriver and we'll see if we can get this filter off here, or break some of these rubber hoses, because that's probably what's going to happen. Oh yeah. That's crusty. All right, I'm going to top off the oil before I forget, because I don't need to do that. All right. Specs say 5 quarts, 6 quarts with an empty filter. So. The belt on here started squealing when I fired it up, so I thought maybe something was seized up. What it ended up being was the AC compressor. The clutches were stuck. After a few beats of the hammer on the clutch, managed to pop it loose, and now it spins freely again. So the old AC in this might actually work. But of course, this would have been the old stuff, the R12, so we'll convert it. Unless it works. If it still blows ice cold, which I doubt, we'll leave it alone. But if it doesn't, we'll go ahead and convert it. Because I sold the last of my R12 a few years ago. I was lucky enough to still have a 30-pound jug of it. And I sold it to some guys that do old hot rod stuff that still want to use it and stick to the original stuff. So, all right. I'll probably do one more start, see if it quiets down at all. If it doesn't, then we'll go ahead and pop these valve covers and see what we got going on. All right, I'm doing a little fancy mix gas this time. Couldn't figure out why the starter kept giving me issues, so I finally got under there and looked at it. I was getting ready to pull it off just to go ahead and swap it out. And the lug, where the cable goes onto it, was loose. Cranked it down and haven't had a problem since. hoping it'll just come back around. Let's try again. Ooh, fancy gas stinks. One more time. No. It's been sitting so long it probably wouldn't hurt to go ahead and change the valve cover gaskets anyways. They do have them in stock over at the O'Reilly's, so I guess we'll probably go ahead and do that and check for vacuum leaks. I mean, the motor sounds pretty good, but it sounds like there might be possibly a stuck lifter or something going on. But we'll double check it. We'll pop the valve covers off, see what's going on, spray some oil down there, see if everything's loose, and because we don't want to tear into this motor. It hasn't been, it's never been opened up, never been messed with outside of little things, fuel pump and whatnot. So it should be good. She just sat for too long. But all right, guess I'm gonna do a parts run and get some valve cover gaskets, and then we'll go from there. Well, if it's not one thing, it's another. Fuel pump cratered out, replaced that. It's now pumping up to the carburetor. Got fuel. Added some coolant to run it for a little while to see if the chatter would go away in the rockers or the rocker assembly. But then the water pump started dumping coolant everywhere. So ordered one, went and got it, and just got it put in. So buttoning all this back together, it came without the heater hose fitting in the side of the pump. So now I've got to go back to the store and get one of those. But yeah, before long, we're gonna end up replacing everything under here. This is what happens if things sit too long. But gonna button the rest of that up and then put some fresh coolant in it again, and then run it and see, make sure all that's good. And then I'll finally get to the rocker assembly, pulling the valve covers off, checking the rockers, and I'm almost bet there's gonna be one loose one, stuck lifter, something, I don't know, we'll find out. But that's where we are. So when we tune back in, I should have this thing running, and we'll be pulling the valve covers off. We are in the truck going to get the right water pump because they gave me the wrong one. It looks like they gave me one maybe for a Windsor, which I don't even think was available in that year model in that car. So going back to get the correct one, me and the little one, and guess what?
I'm alive.
She's back. It finally works out, spring break, to where we can all be here. And so we're all gonna jump on the LTD this morning and work on it. So we'll tune back in when we get back with the parts. Back from the store, and I'm gonna tackle getting the water pump prepped and put back on. And the girls are gonna start pulling off the passenger side valve covers so we can possibly identify what the rattle is going on in there. So let's do it. gonna turn over the key and we're gonna see what happens. Go ahead. All right. Looks like everything's moving. These are all operating. All right, go ahead again. Hold on. This coil is mean. It's sparking. Let me get the power wire off of it. Okay, go ahead. Okay. I don't see anything wrong on this side. Everything's operating as it should. So I guess we'll move on to the other side. All right, she's gonna pull off this side so we can inspect this side now. Because the other side looked like everything was working properly.
I lost my helper. Where'd she go?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
There you go.
Oh, that came off. Oh, Riley, don't put your fingers on the inside.
That came off super easy.
Yeah, of course the gasket didn't. All right, let's see what we got going on over here. Hold on, let me check the valves real quick. See what we got going on.
9, 10, 11, 12.
Oh, there it is. That's the problem. That's the clacker right there.
No, at least it's only one.
All right, found the clacker. Yep, the rest of them are good. Go ahead and turn the key over and let's see what this one's doing. Probably a whole lot of nothing.
Alright, ready?
Go ahead. Yep, it's doing nothing. Now we gotta figure out why. The studs are even. Yeah, we'll have to check that out and see. We'll take this one off and let's inspect what's going on. The rest of these feel fine. But, yep, we got one clacker. All right, let's figure out what's going on with that. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Yeah.
Do I have to worry about that spring bouncing out at all?
No. No. If that valve spring comes flying out of there, we got bigger problems. See, it should be pretty loose if it stays oiled. If you don't change your oil, that thing would be a tower of carbon. And I've had to work on cars in the past where you pop the valve cover off. They're so bad you can't see the rockers.
Jeez.
And then, yeah, there's people that don't change their oil like they're supposed to. Now, when you take that off, there should be a little rocker type washer underneath it. So when you pull the rocker arm off, just pull it straight up. Just put the pull it, should slide right off.
Got a washer in there.
Yeah, make sure you don't lose that. Now the push rod is see the chrome piece sticking out? No, that's the stud. Yeah, that's where it is pushing on the lifter. Yeah, I can see it's warped already.
Yeah, it's a little crooked.
There's our problem.
Is it to come out?
Yep, it's supposed to. It should be a very straight push rod.
No.
Okay, well, you're gonna have to just yank it out. That's our problem. We got it out. So more than likely, the valve was probably stuck when we turned the engine over, and that's what happened. The valve's not stuck now, and the lifter's moving, so we should just be able to replace this and be good to go. And no more clackety clack.
Yeah.
So, okay, we're gonna see if we can track one down. we had to order the one single push rod we needed, so it won't be here till later. So we're going to go ahead and we're upgrading to the silicone gaskets, and Vivian's gonna go ahead and get this side back buttoned up, maybe.
Possibly.
And get all that done and get the water pump and everything all hooked back up on this side. And then when the new push rod comes in, we'll get it in here and make sure everything is kosher before we fire it up again, but that should fix our problem. And then one thing we just figured out is I'm not really a Ford guy. So I was told this was a Cleveland. Unfortunately, it's not. It's a Windsor. So I'm not as excited about it and probably won't do any high performance stuff to it because there's no point. So, having fun?
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, we'll get the new push rod put in, adjust the valves right here, get that working good, and then we'll turn it over slowly, make sure everything is good, and then we'll be able to fire this thing back up. And I bet it runs a lot better, and the clacking sound will be gone. So, all right, I'll go ahead and get started on putting that back together and getting the water pump finished up.
Where'd the supervisor go?
The supervisor is probably, yeah, chasing butterflies.
Ow.
What you can do is take one screw once you get one kind of set,
Yeah.
and then you can align it like that. Get one started, and then you work your way around. They didn't give us, yeah. See how on this one, the notches right here? Mm-hmm. That's for cork gaskets, and what they do, you apply the gasket to it, and it pops through here, and that holds it in place so you can put it on there.
Oh.
This is rubber, so it doesn't have those little tabs.
Ew.
Yeah, for anybody who's not a Ford guy and you want to, I guess, learn the difference between a Windsor and a Cleveland thermostat housing is going to come straight up. Also, the fuel pump, the bolts will be up and down like this. On a Windsor, thermostat housing comes out the front of the motor, and the bolts on the fuel pump are horizontal. So now we know. Put some radiator flush in here. And let me know if you see it raining under the car anywhere.
Yeah, it definitely sounds thirsty though.
Oh yeah, I had to empty it to do the water pump.
Yeah.
But we're definitely, after what I saw down in there, we're definitely gonna flush it.
Yeah.
So we'll just run water for right now. Is it hitting the ground?
It is now.
Where's it coming from? Oh. Ah, the thermostat housing.
Yeah.
Okay, that means that it's not on there right, or something's messed up. Okay, well, at least we stopped right there. At least it's not the water pump. Thermostat housing, we can fix that. It's the next day. Went and picked up the new push rod for the car, and figured I'd take a break for a second, just show you. I was telling you guys before that it's amazing what people throw away. Well, 2 more items just showed up thanks to the Iceman. Yeah, check out what somebody threw in the trash. This one still had plastic. No, that one. That one still had plastic on the seat. I mean, they don't even look like they were hardly used. Some kids outgrew them, and the dad just wanted them gone, so he just chunked them in the trash. So we'll get those up and going and flip them, play with them, do something with them. Oh, and also this one, this came a couple weeks ago. Little Suzuki FA scooter, I think it's a 50cc. Somebody threw that in the trash too. So yeah, It's crazy what people throw in the trash. I mean, whether you want to keep it and have a cool toy or flip it and make some money, I mean, it's I got no complaints. So anyways, we're going to jump back in under the hood of the LTD now and get it buttoned back up. All right, got the new push rods. I took the one of the old ones with me to verify that they were the exact length and width and all that good stuff. So we are good to go. So now we'll find out if our problem is fixed. Yeah. All right. And just in case something happens, O'Reilly's has another box on standby, because things do happen, but hopefully this fixes the problem. Because I popped this valve with a rubber mallet and it did open, so I think it freed up during all the running process. Unfortunately, we lost a push rod. I guess these are bolt down. Huh. Okay, good to go. Clatter should be gone. So next we need to fix the leak on the water pump housing, or the thermostat housing. Fix that leak, and apparently these are notorious for that. So I'm gonna goop it real good with some gasket maker, and then we'll get the fan back on, shroud, and top this thing off with coolant and see how she runs. Got everything all buttoned back up, and we're going to test fire this thing now. Got thermostat done, valve covers back on. Everything should be good. Fan tightened down, shroud back on, topped off with water. So let's see what happens now. I can already tell it's going to be quieter. I have a feeling that carburetor is going to be giving us issues. That's so much better. I hear an exhaust leak. Right up in there. right, I'm gonna open the garage door now, let it sit here and run before I start getting high. The fumes are coming out of this thing. So I'll tune back in a few. Well, somebody had rigged a transmission line to the transmission cooler, and it randomly popped while I had my head under the hood, right in my face. So yeah, it shot all the way over there. So yeah, and I didn't know it was coming, so my eye was wide open. Good times. All right, so I'm gonna try and fix what they didn't fix right, and we'll try this again. Well, I've had it sitting here in the garage running for about 30 minutes. Probably gonna end up changing that carb out. Nothing's adjusting. It's running really rich. I mean, it's burning my eyes. I had to kick on the fans to get the fumes out of the garage, but the smoke cleared up and it's running right now. Unfortunately, this will probably be a two-part video. In the next one, we'll get to checking the transmission. I've got a coolant leak that looks like it might be coming out of a heater hose. So we'll check that. And all those hoses probably need to be replaced anyways. They're very brittle. So in the next video, we'll do a part 2. I don't know if it'll be the one following this or if we're gonna start tackling the old tow truck. But the next video we do on this one, whoo, man, fumes. Definitely gonna put a new carb on that car. But the next video we do on this will be the will it drive. So now we know it runs. That engine sounds great, very quiet, and yeah, pretty happy with the progress so far. So on another note, thank you so much for the new subscriptions or new subscribers, and we've got the website now up. We have merch on there. We have pretty good selection right now, but we've got an artist working on some stuff for some more merch we're going to be adding soon. We did add the membership section on here on the channel that some people have asked us to do, so we added that. Facebook, we're trying to get more active. Instagram, I haven't used it in a while. We need to get that up and going. But yeah, I'm sorry it took so long to get this video up. I didn't know it was going to take this long. Plus, yeah, you know, real world stuff I've got to deal with, work and everything else. So I'm hoping at some point, if we can keep rocking this channel the way we're trying to get it to, we can do this full time, and that'd be great because it would give me an opportunity to spend a lot more time with my girls if we were just doing this. It's one thing I love about doing this. I get to hang out with the girls, spend time with them, and they enjoy doing this stuff. So it's awesome. So until next time, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for all the love, the comments, the emails, the messages on Facebook, everything. I try to get to all of them. So I'll continue to try and keep doing that. But please like, share, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's try and get this channel out there more. And yeah, we'll see you on the next one.